It's Murder Inc. You're watching Cook Goes Hunting. Bye.
What they consider that, but
we were just talking about Dexter, old Dexter Tang. We were talking about our analytics on YouTube, and Dexter, like you can see, like it says, like I got some from Canada, America, UK, Australia. Where's Manu out of? Manu et fishing.
France.
He's out of France. So I get some from him.
That is like a solid supporter.
Absolutely, dude. That
he
dude
has
100%.
No clue what the fuck I'm talking about.
No.
He's like, hey, great video, do it again. I'll watch it. And he does.
And he does
every time.
Dude, he's a great supporter. Yeah. Dexter Tang is one of those ones that is always there.
And here's another thing that about Dexter, and one thing I love about him and his channel is like his is very entertaining.
Yeah.
He's onto something there, and I've said it to him a couple times, like, dude, you could be huge.
Yeah.
Do you know how many Malaysian fishermen there are that speak really good English and can get like hyperbole and sarcasm and jokes?
I remember telling him, I was like, dude, he finally did that video where he was showing like the drive there and around and like the people and the traffic and stuff like that. I was like, shoot that. Oh my God, that's amazing. Like we don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, the first thing I said is like, dude, you're driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah. But like I like when he gets I laugh with him all the time when he gets into talking shit to his friends in his language. Like he's talking shit to his friends because they all go ha ha ha, they laugh. So he's talking shit. He switched from English to I guess Malaysian, or I don't know exactly what the
Malaysian.
Malaysian. But he's a super good one to watch. Yeah. I love,
and like he's commented on every one of my videos.
Yeah, he always comes in. I always try to catch up on his videos. It's why I have I have a low sub. Like I'm subscribed to a low amount of people when it comes to YouTube. Yeah, right. I'm definitely subscribed to way less than people who are subscribed to me.
That's good though,
and because I can't keep up to it. And I know it's bullshit for me to subscribe to somebody and not have the time to go watch their videos and do it. So there's some people that I have unsubscribed to where I was just like, hey man, I think about it and I'm like, my big thing is, and I'm guilty of it. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody here at all, but what I do is I like if you don't have a video out in a week or so, or a little bit over a week, like I'm just okay, I gotta let you go. I gotta let you go.
Yeah,
And it's just I don't like the fact that I have this many subscribers and then you get like only 34 people that come by. You know what I mean? And you're like,
oh yeah,
dude, that's not even close to a quarter of the amount of people who subscribe to me. So obviously you're not catching this stuff.
Yeah, I'm only at like 2%.
And I just I feel like I don't want to subscribe to somebody when I can't give them the view time and watches that they deserve. Yeah. I feel real bad about it. Now, also, I subscribe to things that I think is super interesting. You know what I mean? Something that I can learn from, something that I look forward to seeing their new video coming out. Yeah. Avery Alexander is one of the big ones. Remember I was telling him, that's where I get all my cool fucking, at least I think it's cool, music that I get that leads into, because I love doom and gloom. I like the foreboding feeling, and I like to turn stuff that is not foreboding and doom and gloom into something that is.
Music is huge when it comes to ambiance. You can take something like you out here in the sunshine and the country shooting a bow, which is like really upbeat, and you just turn that music to it, and it's like, wait a minute, this guy's like preparing for
I like
invasion.
Yeah. Like, I did it real well. I thought with my spring turkey hunt, I put a lot of I had a lot of time, man, because I wasn't getting any fucking turkeys. I wasn't getting any turkeys, and I just wanted to change it. I kind of wanted to do something that was just let me just kind of flex on them a little bit. Let me just show what I can fucking, what I'm capable of doing if I stick my head down to it. I just wanted to flex on the small YouTube community that we're a part of.
Right.
I wanted to show that I'm capable of doing this, and I'm just doing this, man, with the same thing we're dealing with. My tripod, a battery pack, and my iPhone fucking 6. Yeah. And that's all I'm using. I don't have two. I don't have another camera here. I have this one that's a Canon, but it's a DSL. It's great for taking pictures, but it doesn't... I have problems with it. Can't record more than like 2 minutes at a time, video.
Right.
Because of the memory card. But I wanted to do that one. I just kind of wanted to flex on them. Yeah. And I sat here for an entire day editing. Editing, putting music towards it, and I like I like to have musical cues to visual cues on my video. Is a big thing for me. I like to show releases of arrows when the music thumps. You know what I mean? I like to show that.
Yeah, I've synced up the music a couple times in some of my videos, but the reason I don't get big into it is because the appreciation is not going to be there, man.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you mentioned your turkey hunting video because, I am seriously into and invested in talent. You know what I mean? Even if a guy has 100 subscribers or 20 subscribers, whatever. When I see something good and I recognize that it's good, but that one was huge. I knew that you were doing that video, and then the thumbnail.
Yeah, because I had talked to you before. Because beforehand, I talked to you, and I was just like, I'm going to try to film my turkey hunt tomorrow.
Yeah, and I was talking to Grant at the time because he was doing turkey hunt videos. Yep. And I was doing mine, and we were all at the same time doing mine. So I was really into turkey hunt videos at the time. And then your thumbnail was just like a generic picture of a turkey.
That's it. Yeah.
What's this fucker trying to pull here? So I click on it, and I knew right away you start up the bike and you go around that first turn and you go out of I'm like, what's this motherfucker doing? I know he has to go back to that camera.
Yeah, I know he does. I did.
What's he doing? And right there, my antenna went up, and I was like, okay, my bullshit detector's on full tilt to see if this guy's fucking faking this hunt. He's got the girlfriend out there, fucking.
Right.
And then you did it 2 or 3. I'm like, oh my god, this guy fucking did it. He got his fucking thing on.
Yeah, I did. I was up. I was up and getting ready to go, and I had it planned out in my time that I needed to. I was going to get out there before dawn. Before dawn hit, up at the place where you see me park, and up at my buddy Colin's. And I was sitting there waiting, and I was sitting there waiting. I was going to finish my coffee, and then I was going to go. So I was sitting outside. I had everything packed up. I was sitting on the tailgate waiting, and I was like, you know what? While I'm sitting here waiting for shit to happen, I'm gonna go ahead and put a time lapse on the moon, and then I waited till dawn so that I get a good picture, and it's about a 45-minute ride for me to get there. Yeah, if I'm taking my time, if I'm having fun on the bike or whatever. So I got there a little bit later than I wanted to, but I got great shots for what I wanted to do because I did the startup of the bike and getting ready and stuff like that, and then I walked out and set my tripod out there and set it where I could see it. Walked back, got on my bike, drove, just got the shot of me driving past, and I only went so far, and I parked it, got off, got my shit, dropped all my bag, packed all my tripod up, my battery, my phone, everything into my pack, and then I drove up to Collins. Got up there, stopped, set it up, got my bike back down. I parked it. I actually parked it where I was going to get it. And it's on a pretty hill, and I was like, man, I hope it doesn't start drifting back down here. But went up there, set that up, and then went and did that shot just for that easy park. I'd already parked once.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And did all that, and I was just. It was a great way for me. I wasn't getting turkeys. I wasn't getting any callbacks. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to have fun working on being better at getting shots and doing stuff on this. And I was like, I'm just going to film a lot of things. And I'm going to set up... What I was thinking about, man, no shit, my motivation for that was Les Stroud on fucking Survivor, man. The way he goes out by himself and sets up stuff. And you see him... Oh, you know for a fact that and you see behind the scenes where... he shows you those cuts where shows him walking up a hill. Well, he's got to come back down that hill and get his shit, and then go back up it again. Like
with that much more gear on.
Right. I had less than 40 acres to work with when I was doing that turkey hunting and stuff, and I covered 6 miles.
Yeah.
Covered 6 miles.
Yeah, I remember you saying it because I called him about you backtracking. You're like, yeah, dude, I checked and I covered 6 fucking miles on it.
Just setting up stuff and then doing the shots and doing them, and then coming back and doing. It was a. I just wanted to. I want to flex on the haters, man. I want to flex on the haters.
Well, like I said, man, like watching that, like I was already a fan of yours, obviously, but like watching that, and I don't know if it was a live stream or
Kirby was another one too that said something about it.
Man, like I realized what you did here, and I appreciate what you went through just to make this video that's going to get 100 views. You know?
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat with mine. Like, I might have like 1,100 or 1,200 subscribers, but like I'm getting 100 to 200 views. So I realize everything I do, and when you go that extra mile, it might get noticed by one person, 2 people.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't know. I try to. When I'm talking to my buddies and stuff at parties, you know, I try to, like, I'm like, hey, man, go check out, if you're into hunting or hunting fucking videos, like, the first thing I'll do is I'll be like, oh, man, you know, Appalachia on the Hunt's got some good turkey stuff like that.
He's got some phenomenal turkey
stuff. The great thing about Appalachia, Grant there, is he gets kills. Like, when it comes down to it, there's not many times where he gets skunked. You know what I mean? And he gets them on there. He's got great shots with some of those turkeys that he's gotten down there.
And there was even like one of his kills that was just that far off camera.
Yeah.
There was another one where he just didn't have the ability to reach over and turn the camera and shoot, but you know, like he shot and like came into frame and stuff. He was this close to having like a really nice kill shot, which is
also when we're doing it, there's stuff. I think the normal viewer who doesn't, the subscriber who doesn't make the videos or anything like that, they don't have that. No, I'm just speculating, of course.
But you're probably right. I know what you're
doesn't have. Yeah, it doesn't have the thought process of how this fucking happened. Like a lot of people are like, man, how did you not get that fucking shot? How did you not get that shot? It's like right there. Like, bro, you realize like me doing this makes a turkey go away.
Yeah, like there's no video then.
Yeah,
or you're disliking because I didn't get a kill.
I mean, I'm 100%. I want to film everything that I'm doing and show you every aspect that I find super interesting. But when it comes down there, I'm there to secure a kill. Like I'm there to put a deer on the ground or a turkey on the ground. And if I have to choose between getting my camera ankle and getting a shot, I'm going to pick a shot. I'm going to pick a shot. And I'm going to stick there, shoot that turkey. I got lucky as fuck on my first one when I got that turkey flying in and I got that shot dead in, like just dead left of center. I was so, like I even talked about it, I'm more excited that I got that on camera than I am that I killed my first turkey. Like the hard, that's the hard part of filming, of hunting and setting up stuff.
Lucky, and I'm glad you mentioned Grant, but I'll get back into him. But like that first hunt with my nephew, turkey hunt, was my first filmed hunt ever. Yeah, we're in a blind, one-man blind that we make into a two-man blind. Yeah. And we're just sitting there. He's sleeping. We got hens in front, you know. And all of a sudden, like 5 huge gobblers right beside the goddamn blind. So I wake him up. I'm like, don't move. There's gobblers right there. And I have to wait till they get out in front of us to put the camera on, get the camera up.
Yeah, they see everything.
So they're out there mingling and stuff, you know. And he's, which one should I shoot? I don't give a fuck. Just shoot one.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, but I don't care. Shoot the fucking turkey, you know. It all worked out great. But then, like, that week I'd been watching Grant's videos, and he had been, like, in a stalemate with these birds where he would try and, like, get a step ahead of them. And every day he was getting fucking outsmarted by these things.
It was an amazing, if you watch the whole fucking series of his shit, it was an amazing chess game that he fucking showed.
And then I was like, this dude's showing videos of him not killing things.
Yeah.
So, like, that first hunt, I go out, it's the first day of turkey season for, you know, adults. I'm in the blind. Everything's ready to go. The turkeys don't show up.
Don't even show, I
still made a video of it because I'm like, you know what? Like, that guy did it, and, like, I respect that. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I have so many dislikes on that video because I didn't fucking kill someone. Fuckers, like,
fuck him.
He just bites in the ass.
Fuck him, man.
I have 500 views on that fucker.
Really? No shit.
I killed something. I didn't kill nothing. But then, like, I finally kill a monster, 200 views.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I put the thumbnail on there of this great big fucking 21-pound turkey.
Yeah.
200 views.
Dude, that's why I put some fucking, that's the exact reason why I put some bullshit ass thumbnail up.
Clickbait.
I'm not even like I don't even. I did the only clickbait stuff that I've ever done was that Pat Miletich video, but I did it.
That was awesome.
I did it in a way, dude. I'll explain that video to you. It's a long process. I put that clickbaity thing up, but I put that little red circle around his nutsack and an arrow pointing at it because I was making fun of clickbait people. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was doing. I was being sarcastic about it. But that video, man. So I talked to my buddy about it. A lot of people talked about this video is hilarious.
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
I had to make it that long because I couldn't. That was like a 3-hour podcast that they had with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, and I got it down. Like my first cut was like an hour and a half where I was like, I can't miss anything. And so I had to go through it again and cut it down even more. I was like, I can't have it this fucking long. But dude, I watched that while I was working here, and I just had it on in the background, and I was just listening to it and watching it. And every time I heard something, it was talking about, dude, Pat Miletich is a fucking spaceship door gunner, dude.
Oh,
like, he was a door gunner on the fucking spaceship, man.
Yeah.
You know how badass you gotta be to be a door gunner on a spaceship?
Yeah.
And I was like, every time I was hurt, I would stop working and I would just listen to the stories. I'm like, Jesus Christ, again? Oh my God, again? Like, so I was just getting the highlights of what was going on, and I was laughing internally, like, so much. I went to bed that night thinking, I should make a video on that. It's a lot of work. That's all I did. Went to bed, I woke back up, and I was like, I should cut that down and make a video. That was my first thought when I woke up. I was like, I should cut that down. And it was like Saturday or a Sunday, and I had nothing to do. And I laid on this couch with the laptop on my lap, and I had to watch the whole thing again. Yeah. I downloaded the whole video. I watched the whole thing again, and I was like, okay, I don't need that part. It's gone. Delete it. Okay, here's a part where it gets into something fucking crazy. Now I'm going to start cutting it up. So I did that, and it's like an hour and a half, and I was like, that was my first go. And then I had to go through it again. Dude, it took me, I was up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, just getting into it. The girlfriend was sleeping. I had my headphones on, so I couldn't wake her up. And I was just going through it, and I got done at like 11 o'clock at night that Saturday after I had put everything up. And I was like, okay, I'll release it tomorrow. I'll push it out tomorrow. And I had to sit there and I had to wait. Of course, you have to wait for it to export. Then you have to wait for it to load up to YouTube. It's a whole process. Right, it's a massive process.
Well, didn't you have like a lot of views on that one though?
I did.
So.
But my buddy Colin is he's got a Reddit account.
Okay.
And
he made a thread for it.
And all he did was he went to MMA's and Joe Rogan's subreddit, and he was just like, hey, my buddy put up a pretty funny video about this, and people, dude, I went from like 88 views to in a day over 400, and it massively went. I'm not saying it went viral because I didn't pass like 1,000 views. I'm close.
I was gonna say
I'm close. I'm like in the 900s, right? It's my highest rated video.
I watched it this week.
It's so funny, dude.
It is,
dude. I told me and the girlfriend, I was like, babe, I got the video down. I was like, will you watch it? I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Oh my God, yeah.
And of course I'm biased. And and she doesn't watch Joe Rogan or anything like that. You know, that's my own little man thing to do. Yeah. Me and Rook, we watched Joe Rogan together. And she watched it and she's like, I was like, let me explain to you real quick, babe. Some of those super long things, I didn't cut that up. That's legitimately him saying these long ass insane stories.
Right, yeah.
Right, that's him. Like, I didn't cut it up. And he's just like, and like, there's parts where, dude, my favorite part of that whole video is when I cut it up to where he's like, yeah, I used to wrestle farmers. And he's like, I used to wrestle. And then there's another part where it's like, the farmers were down the block around the thing. Like, and then he's like, there's just so many, it's like pulling spaghetti. He's just like, and I was just sitting, I started
room full of spaghetti.
Yeah, room full of spaghetti and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was just like, I made it sound, he's like, I'm with the hot club guys in the middle of summer, just blah, blah, blah. I made him sound super gay. I put it in a big gay, I was like, dude, that one's hilarious. My girlfriend Dan Bobby just watched that. And she was like, "This is a real person. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him?"
I didn't even know he existed. Because he's not only he's old school MMA,
dude.
And the dude's like is somebody like
no shit. Like he is 100% a legitimate badass. He was in the days of no rules and
the
no fighting. Don't poke out. Don't poke out fucking eyes.
Right.
Do you remember the UFC? The early ones when I can't remember what his name is. It was a black dude. He put some dude in a crucifix and then just elbowed him in the face, like over and over again, and then another one elbowed that dude in the nutsack like 12 times before he quit. That's when Pat Miletich were beating the shit out of dudes.
Yeah, well, like, I remember like whenever its first wave of popularity, I think was when like we would have been in like middle school or high school, and like Tank Abbott. Was, like,
Tank Abbott was. I loved Tank Abbott.
He was like a horrible MMA wrestler, but he won. Like he got somehow thrust into like the championship and like won the. But like his like high spot was like whenever it first became, but there was no fucking rules. It was like
I remember seeing Tank Abbott trying to throw a dude out of the cage. He was trying to push him out of the top of the cage at one point.
And it was probably a rule like if you do that you win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I remember like there was no like mixed martial arts at all. This dude knew this martial art. That dude knew that one. And it was fucking clash at all, man. Somebody was getting fucking. They're getting their shit mixed like that.
And they had like 15-minute rounds and shit. That shit's insane.
Yeah.
That was back, and that's when Pat and he had a legitimate fucking badass career and stuff like that.
He was like won more than he lost.
Now, granted, if all these things that he talked about was 100% true, fucking attaboy. But it's super hard to listen to somebody like that, and you're just like, come on, man.
My favorite part of the video you posted was whenever he was talking about his broken neck and how he didn't like see.
It
just fused itself back together like we're good. Most people, like a broken neck is a life-changing, life-altering experience. Nope. He was just like, no, it fixed itself.
It fixed itself.
And even Joe Rogan's like, I find that hard to believe.
Well, I made that huge. I did a cut where he's like, yeah, it fused back to the belt, and I have Joe Rogan going, really? And he's like, yeah, blah blah blah. I've never heard of that. Like I made sure to put that was not cut. Like I didn't edit that in like in a weird way. I put that there because I was like, listen. The only problem I have is like Joe Rogan's super serious about calling people out on their bullshit, but when it comes down to fighters, he has such a massive respect for them and what they do and stuff like that it does kind of cloud. He doesn't call them out on their bullshit.
Yeah,
you know. And granted, I understand.
And like
he's also in that world, and he has to. You got to play politics when you're in that fucking world.
Well, another thing is like people might not know. Like Joe Rogan, like right now, could probably take like Pat. You know what I mean? Like Joe is like together, man. And like his
George St. Pierre talks about the last George St. Pierre on Joe Rogan. The last
wasn't he like the big? Was it the lightweight champion? Like he was like
George St. Pierre's one of he's in the running of a goat, the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
and he talks about he's like I've never seen kicks harder than yours, Joe.
Like that's his thing is those spinning back kicks where he kicks back. And
and if you watch him do that stuff, like you're like fuck, man. Like don't get Joe Rogan short. He's 50 fucking years old, but there's no. But his jiu-jitsu's up there. Like he's a black belt out of fucking 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu out of Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo wrecked
he's a popular guest on the podcast.
And wrecked the Gracies on fucking tournaments before. I love watching that old Royce Gracie, or was it Royce Gracie? I can't remember who he went against. One of the Gracies. Fucking tapped him. Didn't tap him. Got him. Did he tap him? I can't remember. Anyways, Eddie Bravo's pretty high. Joe Rogan trains underneath him. His jiu-jitsu, and he still trains to this day. World class. But his kicks, like there are legitimate MMA fighters that fight today to talk to Joe Rogan about kicks and to learn like just the turning side kicks.
If he lands like 50% of that fucker, you're done.
Yeah.
You're down. You're out of wind.
Just in the leg. Just in the leg. Just in the leg. Like I you know, they had Donna here underneath there was a huge jiu-jitsu guy too, and when we went through combatives and stuff, we didn't get to go through like leg locks, ankle locks, everything like that. And Donaher is one of those guys where he told Joe Rogan, like, why would you not pay attention? Why would you forget 50% of the body? Why would you not pay attention to another 50% of the body?
Right.
Like there's so you have all these openings to hit legs, knee bars, arm bars, ankle locks, you know, stuff like that you could hurt people and you know take them out of the fight, and ignore it. Like, why would you do that? And you work from the waist up constantly?
Yeah.
Like, the most you do with the bottom half is your guards, you know what I mean? And that's... So we weren't allowed to do it. We weren't allowed to... It's like... Level 2 is when you get into, like, knee bars and arm bars. I imagine it might have changed since I've gotten out, too. But I always wanted to get into that. But they talk about Joe Rogan's kicks, man. Like, George St. Pierre even says, he's like, I can't get it down to where you're at.
Right.
And also, Joe Rogan actually fought, like, back in the day. He was a Taekwondo, like, champion.
Right.
You know, national level champion. It's just incredible. That video, man, I really had to... It took a lot for me to... I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do it real bad, and then I knew what it was going to entail. And I knew how much of... I'm going to have to listen to this motherfucker again a lot. Like, for hours. And I did. And I just went ahead and did it, and I fucking released it, and I asked Colin if he would post it at certain places on Reddit, and that's got popular, but I'm happy with that video. I watch it every so often, and I'm like, dude, it just makes me laugh. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, when you put it out, I was like, okay, like, because you never put anything out
No.
similar to that, and I was like, and like, probably the first or second sound bite in, I'm like, oh my god, this is like the biggest sociopath I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, I am just like, I'm like, man, and like his face and the way he says, it's like, this motherfucker has convinced himself in his head that this happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is gold. Like, man, I can bullshit, man. I can lie and bullshit with the best of them, but this fucking dude here is on another level. Like, he's convinced himself. Like,
head trauma, man. Head
like,
trauma.
he could pass a lie detector with this shit.
I wanted to bring up scariest adventure you've ever been on. Scariest adventure where you not scariest into the thing like, oh, we're going to a haunted house. Oh, this is scary. I'm talking about like when you actually got nervous feeling of something could really bad happen here.
Yeah, right. There is one that comes to mind. But in my area, just north of me, there's like what's called the Quahana Wild area, and that's where our elk herd and stuff is. Their home ranges and stuff. And if they start getting out of that, they'll start just shooting them, and they don't want them to expand out of that.
Really, they don't want them to expand?
No, because they can cause a lot of crop damage, and if
it's a herd.
An elk can't digest corn, so if they gorge
really?
themselves they'll end up getting sick and dying.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Right, so what our game commission does is say they relocate them, which they do, but after they kill them, they relocate them.
Yeah, they relocate the carcasses.
Yeah, like I even have footage in one of my old crow hunt videos of a carcass put with a bunch of elk and dead bears and shit in it, you know. But anyway, we're up at the Quahana Wild Area, and this is miles and miles of like the Allegheny, not the Allegheny National Forest, but like up there, there's tons of game lands and state land and stuff, and you're in the middle of nowhere up there. There's no civilization. But my buddy, he takes me down this dirt road and eventually onto this path that goes out through the mountains and stuff. And I'm like, cool. He's like, I want to show you where I want to hunt this year in deer season. And I'm like, cool. So we're going out there, and we don't have any gear with us at all. Just blue jeans, boots, jackets.
So you're planning on going out, hunt, coming in the evening?
We're not even going to hunt. He just wants to show me where he wants to.
Oh, you're just reconning the area. Okay.
Yeah, he's already checked it out. It's a good spot. We're just going for a walk, you know. So we go out there and stuff, and I don't have a map, a compass, nothing with me, because I think this guy knows the area. I trust, he's my best friend. I trust him to the end of the earth.
Right.
You know? So we're going out there and stuff, and pretty soon the path becomes like overgrown, and there's not like a path anymore. He's like, no, we're all right. Like, it just kind of disappears here, but I know where we're going. And even on the map, it goes from a straight line to a dotted line, meaning this is where we think the path used to be.
Right.
And,
check, make sure that was still on. Sorry.
But we're going out there in the afternoon and stuff, and right then I should have had like the alarm up, like something's not quite right. But we end up getting out like on this point of this mountain, you know, and there's tons of big sandstone and limestone boulders and stuff, and like there's evidence of like an old forest fire where all the red pine trees have char up them, you know. And we're just checking this stuff out. I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, so where did you want to show me? He's like, I don't know where we're at, you know. I'm like,
He tells you this while you're at the peak of the top of a mountain already.
Yeah,
you're already at the top of a mountain.
All right, well, I'm thinking like worst case scenario, like panic mode. I go down to the bottom of this mountain, find water, follow water.
And follow water. It'll always go to civilization.
Yes,
always.
And like I know the area, streams and rivers and stuff, so I know like. But here's the thing, like people are going to start wondering where we're at.
Yeah.
And I know that if I go down this mountain and start following water, it's going to be tomorrow morning before we get to the phone. There's no cell service.
Right.
There's no, you knock on somebody's door and say, do you have like a telephone? Because that's a thing of the past. And in this area, especially so because these people have cell phones and they have to drive 20, 30 minutes to get cell service. They still don't have landlines anymore. Like it's,
that's it. Landlines
so
are
you're
going
stuck
away.
in that purgatory of, okay, there's no cell service, but there's also not landlines anymore. That's gone.
Yeah.
So even if you find so your loved ones are already like on the phone with authorities, going, "Hey, he didn't come home last night. We don't know where he is. We still haven't heard from him." That's what makes me.
Nowadays, you have to knock on people's door and be like, "Hey, man, can I get your Wi-Fi password?"
Right. But no. So I'm going over this in my head, and I'm going. We go an hour till dark, and when dark comes, we don't have anything. We can't see, and if we keep walking, we're going to get more lost. Mm-hmm. And like I already know that that will lead me to civilization, but also lead to a lot of problems.
You ever done the hand trick when it comes to catching when you're getting in the dark?
No, I don't mess with my mind any more than, and I even touched on that in one of my videos. Whenever the 8-question one, people said, "What's like your most important part of your gear?" And it's right here, man. Like,
absolutely.
That is it. If you lose this, you're fucked. You can have a machine gun and all the gear in the world. Mm-hmm. If you start panicking up here, you're fucking done.
So what you do with that trick is when the sun's starting to go down, you take your hand and you hold it from underneath the fucking sun to your horizon, whatever it is, whether it be a mountain ridge, whatever it is. Each finger's 15 minutes. You have an hour.
I have heard that. Yeah,
you have an hour. And that's usually when I'm doing hunts or camping, or when I do packing and kayak runs. Once I see sun's coming down, I got an hour. That's when I start going ahead. Next place we find, we're going to start camping. Like we're going to start camping, setting up camp, getting wood, getting fire pit. Once I get that hour thing, you still have a little bit of time after that, of course. But it's always better to just be like, hey, I got an hour. Each finger's 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and find a place that I can set up, get my gear and stuff like that. That's what I do.
And with that situation, here is where I was with that. I'm like, okay, even if I turn around right now, I knew how long it took us to get there. That's exactly the amount of time it is till dark. So if we turn around and I get us to that trail and get us out of here, luckily, like we would be able to get back at dark.
Yeah, but he also got off trail there for a little while too. He was just going through.
The trail ended.
Yeah, he was pushing
and
through
instead
brush.
of him going, "This is where the trail ends," but I know where I went. He forgot where he wanted to hunt and everything, man. But luckily, I had the topo in my head, and I'm big on compass and map and stuff because I actually had an orienteering.
Usually, if I can get into places, I can get out of them.
Yeah, I had an orienteering course in college when it was just map and compass, and I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Easiest A I ever got, compass doesn't lie. How do you fail that class?
Right.
But I don't have it with me. I just remember the map in my head, and so we're kind of on a point, And I'm like, okay, we're at the tip of this point, this mountain. And I know that, luckily, our truck is 180 degrees the other way.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a compass to give me 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Give me, my
just read your bearings, yeah.
So what I do is I just kind of get an idea of where the sun's at and stuff. And I'm just like, all right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to be in front of you. Don't ever walk past me. You stay right on my 6. Don't ever say, that's a better trail, this is a better trail. In the first 200 yards, it's mountainside because it's a point,
Yeah.
So I just kind of, and I'm looking ahead all the time, finding a treetop that I think is 180 degrees ahead of me.
Right, yeah.
And that is how I found it. Because even after the sun started going down, you can still see silhouette of the tree line and stuff. That's what I did, was just okay, I'm keeping the sun at my 7 o'clock, and I'm going, I think that tree right there is 180. It's just a guess. And that is a horrible way to get out of a place. Guessing will almost always get you.
It's a general thing, but that's how we learned Army stuff. When you're in a 3-man team in land navigation for 3-man team. One guy's your map guy, one guy's your compass guy, one guy's your pace count. That's how that works.
Yeah. The pace count is hugely important.
Massive. Well, we had a 100-meter thing in Alaska, just a 100-meter course that you just walked. And what you do is you count every time your left foot goes down.
That's what I do. Basically every time my left foot hits is roughly 5.0 feet. You know what I mean? That's how I pace.
So that's how you run that. And pace counts. A lot of people have what they call ranger cords, and they're just like, all you do is you take some 550 cord, pull the shit out of the middle of it, flatten it, turn it, take beads, any type of beads that you can find. Most of them just try to get green colors, sage colors, whatever. And the beads go on that doubled 550 cord real easy, and they don't sling or move around. So once you're like, oh, I've hit my 1,000 meters, you slide a bead up, and then you hit your another 1,000 meters, you slide a bead up, and that's how you keep your.
Right.
I've gone this many clicks because a click is 1,000 meters.
Basically, what I do is, and this is all just me personally, is like every time my left foot hits is roughly 5 feet.
Yeah.
So 20 times your left foot hits is 100 feet. And that's I just go in small increments, and then like once I hit like 200 feet or something, I stop.
It's also
start
really
all over again and go that tree. I'm gonna start counting paces.
It's really super neat to know how much you veer too, depending on if you're right or left-handed.
Oh my
you veer
God.
to the right. You veer to the right when you're right-handed. You literally do. If you're just going and keeping your pace count, that's a big thing with the compass guy is when I was doing it, I was compass guy. So we got our bearings and which way we're going, and you just, with the little compass that has the military compass, that has the little copper wire in the middle of it. So you look through your little spot, you get your bearing with your compass, exactly where it's at, get your bearing, and then you look up, and then that little line is to designate a landmark. So you're like, oh, big massive pine tree. Bam, that's where and that's all you look at. That's all you look at. You don't worry about your pace count, nothing like that. You just know, I got to get to there, that's my bearing. And then
so even if you have to divert off
you get there, and then you get to there, and you get to the other, you walk to the other side of it, and get your bearing on something else. That's how you do it constantly.
Yeah. That's basically what I do, but, I mean, luckily, like, that's what I used to get out of that. But, I mean, that was the first time my heartbeat picked up a little bit. And I mean, like, I knew, okay, we're going to be okay, me and him, but, like, I'm worried about my family's going to be really worried because, like, they know I don't get lost.
Not just saying, hey, what's up? This is why it took so long,
Right. Like, that's why I was like, man, and it's going to be so embarrassing if, like, with all of my knowledge and all of the stuff that I have in my head, I get picked up by some rescue fucking team.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'm going to be it's going to be on the fucking news.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, so that's it was just a combination of embarrassment and what my mom's going to be thinking, and like all that stuff kind of hit me at once, and I was like, God damn it. But like I said, luckily it was just like do a 180 straight line, don't worry about trails, because if you get on a trail and you hit it, say you hit a trail like at a 90, which way do you fucking go?
Right.
So it's like trails don't mean anything right now.
Always try to keep a general track of like where's my truck, where's my vehicle, where's my camp, where's like anything like that. Just a general area. And I also ever so often, like, I got no problem with like marking trees, and stuff like that. All you gotta just take your knife out and put it on the side which you're gonna be coming back generally, and you can just scrape the bark. You can literally just, even if you take another stick and just scrape the shit out of it, just so you can highlight, hey, there's a big, huge, massive change in the color of this bark. Like, from here to here, it's super white instead of like the regular oak. I do that a lot.
Or even if you're in some place where you don't know how to get out of it and you don't know who's coming after you, take your knife out, scratch your name in an arrow. That's which way I fucking went. So if people find this, they know, okay, he went that way, and like he marked it. So
break saplings in half and make sure they're sitting at the thing. I mean, but also, I can see where there's an issue there because you're going into, hey, I know exactly where we're going. Let's go here, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna fucking think about that shit.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But that's like what I say. Like
your buddy be like, why be a weirdo?
If I'm out of my comfort zone, man, I'm writing my name on a bunch of shit. Come find me here. I'm not too proud to freaking get coptered out of this fucking.
I just have old school GPS now too, man.
Yeah,
they're great to just throw in your pack.
Right. My dad has one. It's funny you mentioned about how far you veer off, based upon left or right hand. Whenever he got his GPS or whatever, he said, well, I'm going to put myself to the test. He said, I'm going to walk like a mile away from my truck. I'm going to do 180. I'm going to walk back to it. And once I think, okay, I should have been in my truck by now, I'm going to look at my GPS, see if he was like a fucking mile away. He walked a mile away, and on the way back was still just as far away from his truck as he thought
that's what
he
you got. That's what people don't understand when they hear or see that stuff that's talking about oh, we just made a giant loop. Like, you don't understand how giant of a loop they made. They made like a 12-mile loop.
Right, yeah.
Like, you put 12 miles on your feet and you got nowhere.
Right.
That is super disheartening.
And that's, like I said, this is where, like, panic sets in.
Yeah.
When you panic, the last thing you do is make rational
decisions. Exactly. You're just running off of adrenaline and fear.
Right, yeah. And like, and honestly, like, I feel like once you get to that point where you panic, you're better off just sitting the fuck down.
I think you gotta sit the fuck down. I think all you need to I think you should just 100% focus on, all right, I'm gonna get a fire started. I'm gonna get a fire started.
Right,
I'm gonna sit. Let's go ahead and get in your mind that, hey, you're gonna chill out here tonight.
Right, and another thing that sticks with me through, like, I went through, wildlife biology in school and stuff, so we had a ton of, like, how to do things outside, like with the orienteering. Another thing was, like, shelter. Shelter is so underrated when it comes to people surviving because you can freeze to death in 50 degrees.
It raises your chance, your survival probability by 60% just by having a shelter.
Right.
Any situation that you're in ever, it raises your probability of survival 60% just to have shelter.
Right. And the way that I try to teach this to other people is like your body's 98 degrees. You know how many times you're going to find yourself in the wild at 98 degrees? Fucking never. And if you do, you're probably going to actually overheat.
Yeah. Well, they had those rangers going through ranger course that died of, those 3 of them died of hypothermia in Florida.
Yeah.
In Florida.
Florida.
At 60, it got down to like 60 a night. It's just they were completely soaked head to toe with winds coming up in Florida, in swamp, and they died from fucking hypothermia. An Army Ranger, 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like, these guys
aren't just like some teenagers that got lost out in the strippings.
Right.
Man.
So you fucking Joe Schmo making fucking YouTube videos that are just going out on hunting. Dude, bro, you need to fucking think a little bit harder. Yeah. You're not as hard as those dudes.
Right. That's why my thing is sit down.
Yeah.
Then getting out is like, it's on the back burner. Like, you need to survive here.
Yeah.
Forget surviving out when you get to your vehicle, man. Like, you like shelter and fire, like, and then like, depending on how long you're out there, like, you need to be looking for like calories, man, of any kind. Mm-hmm. And so
you've got to worry about risk versus reward there for calories. You can't you can't go on a backcountry hunt when you're in a survivability situation.
Yeah,
you can't push 10
it's
miles
easy,
and
like,
try to
if
get
you have a rifle and you're lost to go, I'm going to go find a deer and shoot it. Might not pan out that way, and you spent all this day looking for a deer and you didn't get it. You burned all those calories for nothing.
I still to this day, when I go out on my hunts and all my packs, I have a little bit of easy to make fishing supplies, and I have trapping supplies. And what I do is I just take, you can get them at any type of flower boutique shop or anything like that. You know that goddamn little wire that they have?
Is it just like green?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Or silver that they just use to make flowers stay in a certain way.
Yeah.
Super cheap and easy. It's like fucking 75 cents to like $2, and it's like a whole bunch of it. You can literally make 100 snares out of those in one fucking area, and they work for squirrels, rabbit. You can snare a deer if you have to,
and it doesn't take any calories to take some wire and go like this.
And learn how to make a quick little fucking cinch around fucking strap or a trap that just cinches up on their neck. You know what I mean? Especially squirrels, super easy.
And that'll hold pretty much anything. Maybe not a deer, but it'll hold like most anything you can eat.
Absolutely. 550 core will hold a fucking deer in its spot. It's easy to see where deer are walking through their pass.
Deer are really susceptible to snares. That's why, like, for a long time, the Pennsylvania Game Commission didn't allow that.
They still don't allow it. A lot of places it's super illegal, but I know right now, like, if I'm in a survival situation, like, that whole legality thing, go suck my dick.
Yeah, right. You can give me the $100 fine in the mail.
You know, he's dead and all, but he didn't break any laws.
Yeah.
At least.
Just send me the fine.
Yeah, send me the fine. And matter of fact, if I get out from this, you'll never hear that this even happened.
Honestly, though, if I'm not mistaken, I think like there might be a statute or something.
There's probably
in there
a clause.
If you are like in dire need of whatever, like they will like say, hey, he had to do it cool.
Right. Yeah, I mean, those
but
guys...
if it's like a
that,
massive, 12-point buck, and you're like, that's the only thing I had to shoot, I was starving to death.
Yeah.
You might not let that... They might get you for that one.
World record. World record. Hey, I don't have a tag for this, but I'm still going to get it mounted.
It was getting past dinner time, and I was pretty hungry,
Dude, it's August. You're 5 miles from your house. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Right, yeah.
Especially nowadays, for sure. I think my scariest adventure, man, I had that bear. I had that bear run up on me at Collins Land, where I've been hunting at. I went out and I wanted to do some bow hunting, and I wanted to pack in, set up my tent, go hunting in the morning, and that's what my plan was. Had everything I needed, blah, blah, blah. I was running super heavy on a pack. The only reason why is because I wasn't pushing too far in.
Right.
Lay down. Lay down. You can lay down on him if you want. Go ahead, lay down. There you go.
Everybody loves murder, huh?
I ran a heavy pack just because I wanted to see if I could do super heavy pack in a wooded terrain environment. So I was already just testing myself.
Like you said, you weren't going far, so it wasn't going to be an issue.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what I was kind of capable of, see where I was at. And this was like right before I kind of started getting to working out and stuff. So I pushed in. I found this area that was like, it was a small clearing. It couldn't have been 30, 40 yards in a circle of a clearing in the woods, right? So, there you go. Good girl. Lay down. So I was like, okay, I'll push up against the wood line here. I'll set my tent down. I'll make my fire right here in front of my tent. I'll sit, wait till I get a little bit tired, and go to sleep, wake back up, and then I'll push down towards this bedding area with my bow and see if I can't get anything. Told Colin. I had my pistol with me and everything. It's bear country. And so I'm sitting there, and I forgot to bring a book with me. That's a great thing to bring when you're in backcountry.
For patience,
man.
Oh, man, yeah.
Right. So great.
That can keep your mind from wandering if you're in a bad situation.
Just to kill time to get to the point where you're like, okay, it's 9/9. So I'm sitting there around the fire, had a super small fire. It had rained a couple days before, so I didn't have very good wood anyway, so it was a small fire. And I didn't want to have something massive and huge that I didn't need to anyways. I literally took 20 minutes for me to gather up supplies. I was going to run this fire for this long, and then I was going to go to bed. So I'm sitting there on my little seat, and I'm staring at a fire. And like normal, I look up, and in the dark, completely dark, it wasn't like a full moon or anything, you can see where the wood line is, because I'm in kind of a clearing. Like, you can see that there's not woods and stuff in front of you.
Yeah.
And, puppies, hop down. Hop down, come on. Good girl. I'm sitting there looking, and ever so often I'm looking up and I'm checking my surroundings like I should be doing. And it's about 11, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I look up and I scan that opening, and I see a blob, a black blob that I haven't seen there at all. The 100 times that I've looked and checked my security, my surroundings. So I'm looking at this black blob, and the fire's, in front of me, and I'm sitting in my little chair, little chair. Hey, easy. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, like, I haven't seen this before. And then it's my vision starts focusing into it, and I see 4 sticks coming off this black blob, and that's legs. So he's facing towards me, but at an angle.
Yeah.
And once I realize, like, this is 20 yards, that's a fucking bear. Like, there's nothing else that can move into that thing and sneak up onto me, and it's quiet as it is, than that. You can hear deer. And they'll blow at you and stuff. They're very defensive about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And pushes in. Once I realized, I was like, that's a fucking bear. I have my leg holster in, and I come up off my chair with my pistol straight into it. And I was like, ha, bear, ha! I'm screaming at him, ha! And he takes off. He turns around and takes off. And I'm following like a night sights. Those tritiums were glowing bright as shit, and I'm fucking following him as he's running and an angle away, and it just crashes through the fucking woods. It sounded like a horse.
Oh,
it sounded like a horse going through that shit.
Absolutely.
And I was like, freaked out, man. I was like, okay, all right, I'm out. I'm like, I'm go ahead and I'm gonna set this fire out. I'm gonna grab all I had, man. I was so dumb. I didn't have my headlights with me. I had one of those keychain LED/laser fucking lights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And a little camp lantern that was electric battery one that blinds you just as much as it gives off light to here. Right. And I'm like, okay, I'm going back to the cabin. I'm heading back to the cabin. I got spooked. It come within 20 yards of me. I fucking had to run off a bear. I had to pull my piece out and push this bear out.
Yeah.
I don't know what his intentions are. Super weird that he comes straight up onto me while I've got a fire going, smoke going, shit like that. And so I didn't know. I didn't know. So I was like, all right, risk versus reward. Here, I'm out. And I was like, I left all my stuff there except for my piece. So I have my pistol out. And it's about 500-600 yards of through the thick ass woods and rocky terrain that you've seen in the turkey hunting video. How rocky terrain that is to get back to the cabin, and it's all dark. I'm like, I know these trails, so I get on the trails, man, and I'm walking like every 10 feet. I'm going, ha, bear! You know, I'm yelling, ah, bear! I don't know where it's at. I know the general direction where it's at.
That's the best thing you can do in that situation.
I was just yelling,
because
being
if you
loud.
surprise another bear or anything, they're in fight mode right away.
Right, and I didn't know. Hey, am I getting into breeding seasons with black bears? It's all black bears around this area. Breeding season with black bears. Am I getting into? Did they drop cubs with them? I don't know. So I'm yelling and I'm moving and I'm going down the trail. And I'm moving and I'm looking around and I'm everywhere I'm looking, like my piece is pointing at that same exact spot. Like I'm full tactical in this scenario, and I'm going and I lose the trail. I lose the trail that I fucking known. It's in the middle of goddamn dark, and I'm heightened, and I'm missing details, you know? So I'm like, I get on this other trail that's taking me away that I know is wrong. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to walk this trail a little bit, and I got to, there's another trailer that's close to his thing that has a always on light, you know, on the pole. Yeah, and I see it, and it's like 70 yards off the trail. If I go straight distance, 70 yards into it, I'm like, okay, it's dark, very rocky terrain. I don't know if I'm okay to walk this. I don't know, and the way I'm going, the bear is going to be directly down. The bear is going to be directly at my back, so I'm going to have to half walk this backwards, paying attention to where I know that bear is coming from. I push through it. I come back down, and I knock on Colin's door, and he's like, "Cook, the fuck are you doing here?" I was like, "Dude, I just got ran out by a bear." He's like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, well, fuck, come here." I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna chill out here. Do you mind if we take the vehicle up tomorrow and we'll just pick up my gear? Like, I don't even know if my gear's gonna be there in the morning, you know?" And so we went and got it, and I went and found like tracks in the mud of where he was fucking standing. It was like fucking 20 yards from where I was sitting. But can you imagine what that bear was thinking coming up? Like, you just imagine that bear coming through the woods, whatever, I'm being a bear, and you just get this half hairless ape crouched over a fire, staring at a fire. Yeah. You're like, what the fuck is that? Not moving, because I wasn't. I was just sitting there staring at a fucking fire. And I think he's probably just as scared of me as I was of him, but that dude's got 200 pounds on me. Yeah, right. That was probably the scariest I've been on hunt. It spooked me. It definitely spooked me. I got back out there and did some hunting and stuff like that, and I go out there all the time as well. It's just, if I'm out there squirrel hunting, man, I've got my 45 on me. You know, it's just...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just one of those areas. But that was one thing I wanted to talk to you about. dream hunts.
Oh yeah.
Dream hunts. And I know you had talked about, like, your dad has probably hit it off. It's in North America. Isn't that what you were saying?
No,
it's been
Pennsylvania. He's killed every game species in Pennsylvania except for river otter.
River otter. That's right.
And like that's like no small feat when you think about it. I'm talking he's trapped mink, fox, coyote, whatever, you name it, like things that you don't even think, like weasels, things that you don't even think about being game.
Right.
He's got them except for river otter. But I don't even know if he has like any desire to go after that and complete that thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But, dream hunt for me, man, it's I don't know. I'm really into like my area and
you like local. You like to stick local.
Like that's where my
Well, you've also got a good locale too. You gotta think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed in a lot of ways, but there's tons of things I'd like to shoot, you know, but I don't consider it necessarily a dream hunt. And like I said, like even in like when it comes to like October, November, my heart and my soul is in like my home area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be really hard for me to go somewhere else during that time of year and not want to be in my tree stand or with my family, you know. But
absolutely understand.
Some things that are on the list is like I would love to go to Africa just to experience like the culture, the different style of hunting. You know, see a ton of species I've never seen any other way. You know.
Yeah.
That Africa's on there, and even you know, like maybe caribou is one that's up there. You know,
Caribou, that's a good one
because just like the sheer like their migration and their numbers and everything that fascinates me. Like, I could go on a caribou hunt. Moose is another one. I'd love to take a moose.
They're massive.
Most of the
Jesus Christ, they're massive.
Most of the moose hunts I see, like they just like walk up to it and shoot it.
Yeah, when I was in, we had to run them out of housing a lot when I was doing the cop part of being in Alaska. And,
right.
and what the problem is people leave those goddamn plastic little kiddie pools out in their, of course, because they're using them every day and the kids are playing them all the time. Yeah. Well, the moose find those things and they love those just as much as they'll stand in those kiddie pools and just drink water and just hang out. And it's all in housing. And then you got to understand. You gotta explain to people over our loudspeakers, go back inside. Stop taking pictures. Go inside. Yeah. Like they'll want to walk right up to them. Oh, they will murder you. Yeah. They will murder. We had a guy I can remember coming into the company, coming to the big you go into the side of the building and you there was a guy sitting there down at CQ, charge of quarters, get down. Charge of quarters. There's like a little desk that you first walk into the barracks, walk up these steps, and then like the whole command hallway is there. And then right there you meet the CQ guys. And at the CQ desk is there's this guy sitting there in uniform with a halo, like a metal screws in his skull halo. Right? And he's sitting there, and I looked at him, and I'd been in there for a year or two, so I had known. I was like, what the fuck's up with this guy? Like, I just said it out loud while he was there. That's how we treat new guys anyways, you know? What the fuck's up with him? Like, I didn't even ask him. I just asked everybody else around him. And come to find out, man, he was supposed to come to our company as an MP. He went to basic training, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Got the orders to come down to Alaska to come to the 164th MP Company, which is godsend to come to, and he was walking around post, getting all his stuff signed, and you have this huge in-processing thing. You have to sign up with like dental and medical, and it's all these different buildings, and you just walk around with this manila folder. You always know the new guys because they're carrying manila folders. With all your paperwork in it to get signed, and he was going to the what we call sick call. Fuck, I can't remember the terminology right now. It's so dumb. It's where all the docs are at and shit like that. The medical facility. And he was walking there to go get his signed in and signed out and stuff like that, and he got charged by a fucking moose, and it pushed him down on the fucking ground and started fucking slamming him. Yeah. And they did it right. Lucky, they did it right outside of TMC. That's what it's called, Troop Medical Clinic. the TMC. He did it right outside the TMC. So when the moose ran off, like all the docs ran out and got him, pulled him in, and immediately started. He broke all his. He fractured his skull and like his orbital and like broke his vertebrae, dude. Man. He got. Imagine going to the Army, 18 weeks of basic training, getting to your first duty station, getting mauled by a moose your first day in your first duty station, and then getting medically retired out of the Army.
Yeah, I got a Purple Heart for a fight.
Well, not even that. You got to get that in combat. But I mean, but yeah, he got medically retired. He's medically disabled 100% from fucking as an E1 private.
Well,
like. He didn't even have to do his. He didn't have to do anything that had to do with his job.
Basic training and you're good, man.
Basic training. Now I got a paycheck for life.
Holy dude, shit! That is an insane story. Though. Yeah. Imagine like him telling that story to people.
He's like, "What happened to you? Why are you medically discharged? Why do you have a retired ID card as an E1 private? I got attacked by a moose." Wait, explain that to me.
Well, or like, were we like in like Iraqi freedom or anything at this point in time?
This was I was a year in, so I got there in 03, so 04. 04. I went to Afghanistan 05 to 06.
So he could have like flat out lied and was like, "Yeah, I was in combat." And...
Yeah, he could have. He could have been an absolute douchebag. I mean, he could have been a stolen out valor piece of shit. But I'm telling you right now, dude, if I would have been like I fucking got attacked by a moose, I think I would talk about that more than I would talk about my combat days.
Right. He's like, I mean, I bravely fought for your freedom against the moose.
Yeah, against the moose. Yeah.
Like, buy me a beer.
Yeah. But yeah, he got. I don't remember his name. I don't remember what it is. Maybe maybe if he sees this shit, he's just like, "Hey, that was me. That was me. That would be awesome." If he found that shit on YouTube for sure. We were talking about the hunting and fishing, the trends for camo nowadays, and the people talk about how they have to have the nicest, newest. Like some people, I've watched some of these guys that get a new camo outfit a year. Like, this is new.
Yeah.
This is absolutely... Yeah. Dude, I've got my issued shit that I use, that I got issued from the fucking Army, and that's it. It's just BDU woodland camo. That's what I use. Yeah.
Well, I don't... Now, are you digital or are you before that?
I have digital ACUs, but I came in the BDU black boots days.
Okay, yeah.
We switched to ACUs, the digital pattern, the gray stuff, like my rucksack color.
Yeah.
While I was in.
Yeah. So I knew you had been somewhere when they made that digital change. But yeah, holy shit, like, and that was another reason, like, I am so turned off by like hunting shows and shit like that.
Yeah, it makes me mad. They have such a disconnect from the normal hunter.
They go to please like the advertisers and keep that money coming in. Which, hey, I guess if that's your thing, like, whatever. But like, I'm so like concerned about like the future and like the young people about like how they're going to approach being an outdoorsman. Is like, okay, I have to buy so many $1,000s worth of gear and shit before I even go in the woods to be successful.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge. I think those. I understand that. Yes, exactly. I understand that it is a big. It is. You need to bring in money. It's a corporation. Like it is a thing. To go on these hunts, you got to find the money somewhere, but they need to be. I think it'd be easier if they just went ahead and let the younger and the youth know that, listen, you don't need to have this $800 outfit that's only one layer compared to the next $800 layer, which is your first layer, compared to the $400 fucking boots of like CRISPR and Realtree and shit like that. You don't need that shit. You really don't need that shit.
Yeah.
Stay off the super perfumey soaps and shampoos that you use. Go out, set up, read winds. Check wins. Always check wins. Find stuff. You could, like we talked about earlier. I was like, there's been more animals killed wearing blue jeans and red flannel than any type of camo ever used.
Yeah, and in Pennsylvania, the Woolrich, which is based in central Pennsylvania, Woolrich Company. Now they make it in China, I believe, but like they made the plaid wool and like pants and jacket. And that was called the Pennsylvania tuxedo.
Oh, yeah.
It was the slang term because every deer season, that's what everybody wore because it had the black and red checker that kind of broke up when your surroundings and stuff.
But I think it's a bigger thing to break out your outline, your silhouette, than it is to be blending into a certain.
Deer don't have the same color spectrum that we have. So even though you have like the flyest ass camouflage on the market, guess what? Deer don't know. They can't see it anyway.
Right.
You know?
It doesn't. I don't think it matters now. When you go with like turkeys and stuff, like I can 100% get that. Like those guys, they see white from hundreds of yards away.
Well, and even I have a saying, even whenever people like talk to me about turkey hunting and what you want to do or something, I say turkeys can see you fart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like what I mean by that is like whenever you shift your weight or like you bear down or whatever, just like that little tiny thing, like they will see you move right there. Fucker's sitting right there.
And I'm out. Out.
Right, like pick your head up, like they'll freaking yelp once and gone.
Yep.
And like they can like, but whenever it comes to deer hunting and even like these fenced in deer hunts and stuff, I'm just like, and then they'll be in like a tower blind that's 12 feet high and it's like a big green tower blind. I'm like, why are you wearing camouflage? Why aren't you wearing like pajamas, dude? I would be totally being sweatpants if I were you.
There's times I definitely like I get when it comes to the new materials and stuff when they're talking about keeping you warm, the layer, the synthetic stuff like that. I get that, but I also know that to achieve what they're trying to do doesn't mean that you have to spend $800 on an outfit. That's ridiculous. You're trying to get 1,000% profit off of something that barely costs stuff like that. Yeah,
and what I call them is the weekend warriors. These guys watching those shows, trying to learn how to hunt from watching that shit, which will teach you nothing about your area and the animal you're after. Like deer are different from mile to mile, let alone across the country.
The way I would hunt deer in West Virginia is going to change the way I hunt deer in say Pennsylvania if I was up there.
Yeah,
it's entirely different, totally different aspect. Same way with like down south Georgia deer and stuff like that, Louisiana stuff like that, swamp deer. That's why I love the fact that when I went through Cold War Leaders course, we learned how to survive in an Arctic environment with layering. The acronym you learn to stay out of cold is COLD. It's COLD. You keep it clean, you avoid overheating, keep it loosened in layers, and keep it dry. That's how you avoid the cold, 100%. And I know that no matter what I use, certain materials, of course, are going to be better at what you have to deal with. Like wool is great. Wool keeps you warm even though it's wet. The same way with the goose down is a big one. It still, even though it's wet and shitty, it's going to keep
still
you
retains
warm.
Heat.
Right,
absolutely.
You got to layer. You don't need that brand new synthetic, super new material that's going to fucking. Oh, can I make my house payment or can I go hunting? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's just ridiculous. Come on, like, chill with that shit.
Yeah.
If you want to get more people into conservation and more people into hunting, make it achievable. Make it achievable for a fucking 14, 13-year-old kid that they can't even drive yet.
Right.
You know, put that out there. Put that out there. That's what I like about. I think we were talking about. The old hunting shows when we were growing up. Real Tree and Mossy Oak.
Hunting the Country.
Hunting the Country was a big one, those guys, the more I look at that with the knowledge that I have nowadays, I'm like, dude, those guys were set up so well. They had a team of cameras around them to make stuff. They had huge ranches that they're hunting on. Yeah. I don't remember public lands being talked about at all, and maybe I just never missed it. But
hell no,
public lands.
I think that's just like a recent thing now, where some of them try to do the public land or self-filmed deal to achieve like a certain.
The Born and Raised Outdoor guys on YouTube was the ones that pulled me into it. They did that hunting 5 different states in 50 days, where they just did public lands. The entire time, and they just camped where they were doing blah blah. I thought that was amazing.
Right, that's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of that stuff, that hunting the country, Real Tree, Mossy Oak stuff back then in that days, you're like, dude, that guy's on a ranch. There's absolutely no reason why I'm seeing.
Effectively, all they have to do is make the shot. They don't do any of the scouting, nothing. None of the camera work. They said the deer comes right to them. All they have to do is make the shot. I can make that shot.
Yeah.
Why can't I make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year?
And I sit there and I think about it too, and I was like, man, maybe this day is going to be the day that I hunt in this farmer's place in West Virginia that I'm going to see that 30-30 buck that I saw in Realtree. You know what I mean? That fucking that thing was 700 points. It looked like a horn salad off of his head. You know, I thought that was like achievable, and I was like, dude, the only way that those things are achievable or obtainable is if you go to a ranch that they're putting out nothing but they're eating nothing but deer steroids, deer HGH.
And the reason it got that big is because they didn't shoot it 50 times a day.
Yeah, and they can do that because it's going to stay in the same area.
Right.
You can't, dude. Yes. You pass up an 8-point in West Virginia on open day. Pennsylvania, you pass up an 8-point on opening day. You'll never see that 8-point again.
I remember whenever that was not even a thing, passing up a buck in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, absolutely.
That didn't exist because there was no antler restrictions. If you saw any horn sticking out, you smoked that son.
Ours they had to be 2 inches in West Virginia, and like if
I think ours was it was anything, but then after they made the antler restrictions to be classified as a quote unquote spike for the younger hunters, it has to be at least 1 inch.
Oh yeah.
Most spikes are like 8-9 inches, so you very rare. I have seen spikes that were under an inch, like just not where it looks like a button buck, but it's a 2.5-year-old deer that just didn't grow anything.
Yeah, it just didn't put it.
Yeah,
that happened to us.
But very rare.
I hit. Oh, it was so funny. We were out. There was this back alfalfa field that they only grew alfalfa. They didn't do anything with it, and it was not that big. It was maybe 70 yards, square to square, with a little rock break in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. You could come up out of these cedar trees, hit the corner of that field, and you could sneak up to that rock break if you were super, weary about what you were doing.
Right, yeah.
You get up that rock break, you could see the other side, and that's where all the deer were just like eating alfalfa. It was never more than like a 50-yard shot, right? And I can remember my dad. We snuck up with my dad, and my dad had his 308, and there was 2 deer. There was 2 deer sitting up there, and we were going to go ahead, and we decided to take them. And we thought they were does. They were both does. So my dad comes around the right side of this rock break, and he puts that 308 on and squeezes off. Boom! Deer doesn't drop. Deer just looks around. I've never seen my dad miss. I've never seen my dad miss. Even at hard shots, I've never seen him miss. And what the fuck? So he pulls back into some cover a little bit, racks shell, comes back out. Boom! Deer just look around. And I saw it. I saw what had happened. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, I have no idea. He's like, you take a shot. So I scoot around, and I saw what happened. And we didn't have time to talk about it. And I come around, and I'm way lower than he is, and I shot that deer dead in the chest, dropped him like an axe. Right, bam, he just folds up. And he's like, what the hell is going on? I was like, Dad, check this out. There was one of the long ass West Virginia thorn bushes, stickers sticking out, and his bullet was hitting it right outside the barrel. Couldn't see it in his scope.
Oh man!
Hitting it, and it was just running off. Bullet was going. I mean, of course you don't hear it go zzz like you do on like a movie. You know what I mean? Unless you hit like a rock, something hard, right? And there's 2 cut lines in that vine. You could see bright green cut lines of the bullet hitting it, and it threw his shit off. And we went to go drag him. And we go to grab him, and Dad's like, "Oh shit, that's a button buck. That's not a legal." We thought it was a doe. Like we would search and looked and stuff like that. It wasn't legal.
Right.
We reported it. Of course, but we just happened to. The guy was just like, honest mistake. You know what I mean? They did.
What usually when somebody comes forward and says, I illegally shot this deer, not for the 1-inch trophy on top of it. Right.
Like we didn't have to. We had to. We didn't know until we got up on top of it. And that's what we do. We take a good look at them, and we had our doe tags, and what we were doing is we were going to shoot does to. What we always do is we always try to take our tag and we give a couple deer to the farmers that were hunting at. They're old farmers and stuff like that. So we gut them. And we give them to him, and then all he does is he's got meat for his freezer. He just skins them and guts them out. Him and his 3 brothers that were born in that house and will die in that house. That's that type of farmer back then.
Hell yeah.
Like his parents, all 3 of them, they're like 70, 80 years old, and like they're up there, way up there, and they were literally born in that house.
Yeah, 10-4.
It's a great hunting problem. My dad, I guess he does cattle on it right now. Want to talk about ever losing an animal?
Yeah. Oh, well. Archery seems to be like the main thing with me whenever losing an animal. Like I'm trying to think like a specific time where it was.
I know I feel bad. I've never once myself personally lost an animal. I've never taken a shot, lost him, couldn't find him. I have had to. My dad hit one. We lost it. Couldn't track it. It was too late.
Now I've had instances where I'll one specifically. It was like the first day of archery season, and I hunt on the ground a lot.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I
can't afford to stand.
I went to my favorite spot or whatever, and it was just barely daylight, and I see like a deer coming right at me, and it has like a small rack and everything, and I'm like, well, if it's legal, I'm taking it. Like that's always been my mentality. I'm not a trophy hunter. I'm here for one reason. Yeah. That's to get meat, and that thing's legal. I'm taking it. And it was coming right at me, so I couldn't draw on it. Plus, it was to my right, so I couldn't shoot, even if I did draw. Yeah. And luckily it was dark enough, and it was like a 1.5-year buck, and I think those deer are kind of stupid because they haven't been hunted hard yet.
Yeah.
Like they've been running around with their mother and been doe season and got shot at, but like the 1.5-year-old deer seemed so dumb. But he got like from me to the camera away, and when he started to get past me, that's when I drew. I got right on him and shot right where you're supposed to, right behind his shoulder. Everything. Cool, Well, he ran like 50 yards, and then he stopped and started looking around, and I'm like, uh-oh.
That's usually when they fall over is what I've been
told.
I'm
thinking one of two things. Either I did not get heart and lungs, because if they're hitting the heart or the lungs, they run in a straight line until they collapse. And if I got lungs, he should be down. If I got heart, he should be down. I'm like, maybe I got something. Or another thing is like guts. If they stop being panicked because you shot them in the guts, and they're like, oh, wow, that hurt. Like, this sucks. But then they go back to doing what they're doing.
Doing what they're doing, yeah.
And I'm like, this is weird. Like, I know I saw it go in, I saw it go through him, and he eventually walked off, and I called one of my buddies up. I'm like, I'm going to need your help. Something really weird just happened here. So when he's done, he gets out of his stand, and he drives down, and we're following a blood trail. It's a decent blood trail, not a bad one, not a good one by any means, but not a bad one. And he said, what happened? And I told him. He said, man, something's not right there. And we followed it for like maybe 100 yards and lost blood, and I never found that animal. Did anybody ever found that animal? And the only thing we could think of was like his lungs were just, not expanded, and I was just a little hair off, and somehow
it's weird to say.
People call it the no zone. It happens to a lot of people where they say, you put it right where you're supposed to, but for whatever reason it didn't get anything, or you just nicked the heart. Yeah. And it didn't cause any blood loss or anything, and like. But it sucks, because it's like that's not what I'm here to do, and like you lose sleep over it because
I feel super bad if I injure an animal. I feel super bad if I just injure it. I know the one that I can remember we lost. My dad. We were leaving that night. Driving out the driveway, out of the farmer's driveway, and good six point was off to our left on the driveway. So it's like, oh shit. Okay, so we get out of the vehicle. Dad grabs the rifle and boom, shoots it. It's not maybe 50 yards, right? Bam, shoots it. And so we're like, okay, let it sit here for a little bit, and we'll go track it. Well, wait a little bit. And it's getting dark. I knew we were gonna have to use like flashlights and stuff like that. And we were following this blood for a little while. And what we do is we get to where we find our last blood trail. And if we can't find something after that, we hang out at that point and we just start making circles. Yeah, just make big old circles. That's all you got to do. Even wrap around the way that you came. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just big old circles. That's all we do. And we just couldn't get it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what got plugged. Something. There was just nothing. And we were searching these circles. And I was getting out pretty far. And my dad was like, okay, let's go ahead and call it. We'll come back in early in the morning, and we'll pick it back up, and we'll see what we can get. And we got back up, got there in the daylight, and man, I was 20 yards from it, from where they told me, hey, Cook, come back let's go ahead and call it a night. I was 20 yards from it, and we found it. And problem is, ass eating out, eating all the way up to their kidneys, just asshole eating out from coyotes and wolves. I don't think wolves, but like coyotes and shit just got into it, and we couldn't salvage anything off of it. It sucked. It sucked. I can remember my dad's buddy Larry hit one pretty late with a bow, and we tracked that thing for miles. Long time into, I think it was like, I don't think we got out of the woods till close to 1, 2 o'clock when we called it, and we just couldn't find it. And he said too, he's like, man, I stuck it a little bit late, and I know I pushed it. I know I got out of the stand too early because I was worried about it being too dark.
Yeah.
And I
gave it that shot of adrenaline. For
yeah.
It to get the fuck it.
And it pushed.
Saying, I'm gonna lay down
it
here.
Pushed. And like we found a couple times, we found where it had laid down and like the pool of blood was going. They were doing their thing, and we ended up pushing it again.
That's another thing with like early archery season. You run into that. Okay, if I leave this thing sit all night and die here, the meat's no good.
Yeah.
I have to look for it, and then you jump it, and it just turns into a total shit
show. Yeah, and I think, and the bad thing is that's like the golden hour. Is that hour after dawn and that hour before dusk. That is the golden hour to hit in any season. Rifle, bow, whatever you're doing, like that is the time to get them.
Yeah, actually, the last 2 bucks I've killed have been the last hour of bow season, not the day, the season.
Yeah,
where like I'm throwing doe piss everywhere and grunting and carrying on like a fool because I'm throwing everything at
like shit. Fucking
and lo and behold, the last 2 times I've tried that shit, like here comes a buck just big enough for me to kill. You know what I mean? But hey, like that, like you said, that's the golden hour, and especially in the rut. Like I said, the last day of archery season is right getting to the peak of the rut. They give them that week or so to mate, in Pennsylvania, between there and bear season or whatever. But man, is it like
there's something there. There's something there,
right? And I've even said that with I'm not like big into I don't even know how to say it. But I think there's like another element or another dimension in the woods there that's like mystical, and there's like another thing that you can't see there that adds to everything. And I find that to be especially true with hunting. Like, there's something that's going on there in the woods that gives you, like, that's why you get jacked on adrenaline.
Yeah.
Whether it comes back to, like I said.
Well, I don't feel more like, there's never any other times that I don't feel like more like a fucking 100%, just a little inkling of like an apex predator.
Yes.
Of when that light just comes up where it's like, man, I can see 70 yards. Like everything that's near me in 70 yards right now, all this waiting I've been doing, all this fake ass, I'm trying to look through the dark, maybe that was a deer in the field, I don't know, I can't see. Like when it just comes to what, oh man, I can see, like I'm fucking King Dick in this woods right now. I just need to outsmart what I'm going after.
Right, right, yeah. It went from like you being out of your element and everything, and them having
to worthless to now you're in my area.
Right, now I can see where you are, and I have the advantage, and you don't. Right, that's like I said. And like I said, the same thing. Like I feel like that last hour of daylight, like they're comfortable. They've been around here all day, haven't sensed anything. They're coming into your stand where you spent so much time knowing this is where they're going to be. And you have that element of surprise, and like everything's on alert, and every little stick or squirrel in the leaves and everything.
Yeah.
Woof! Your adrenaline gets jacked. Just you haven't seen a deer or heard a deer. Just bam, go time. Like there's something there.
I know there's times where it's just like, man, I know I hear things, I can't see it. I know it's in that general fucking area, and I'm just like, I know there's something there. And until I can fucking put eyes on it. Like, I will fucking hunt a squirrel like I hunt a deer until I see what it is. Like, when I'm deer... And you get... After a certain time, you can start telling that there's a difference between the walking of a deer and the a fucking squirrel.
And that's one thing that I've mastered through the years. And a lot of people still... And my hunting buddies and stuff will even say, like, how did you know that was... I know what a turkey sounds like, whether it's walking or feeding.
Yeah.
And they won't even hear it.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I can hear turkeys feeding.
I'm almost, I rely on my hearing more than I rely on my eyesight.
Well, my eyesight's for shit. Like, I actually, I'm supposed to wear prescription glasses. And in a lot of my videos, I have sunglasses on and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're prescription sunglasses.
Yeah, my buddy Lovejoy had those. He had those cool ass Ray-Bans that were the black. I always reminded Anthony Bourdain.
Oh man, yeah.
Anthony Bourdain's glasses that he had. They always remind me of Anthony Bourdain's glasses.
Well, not to get off track, but oh man, what a bummer.
Oh yeah, what a loss, man! What a loss for society.
He was my favorite celebrity of any kind.
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken.